Good morning or afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to this first sort of live stream that I'm going to do on this channel. There's no real plan to this. I'm just going to watch some videos and we're going to go down a rabbit hole together. And I'm going to upload this pretty much unedited. So welcome to the Covert Machine. And I'm TCM. And together we're going to just explore some strange things and hopefully go down some interesting rabbit holes. So let's get into it, shall we?
So, what is a Freemason and how do you become one? Freemasonry is one of the oldest fraternities in the world, filled with Masonic mysteries. And although there are plenty
Masonic mysteries. That is crazy stuff.
of Freemasons documentaries, today we'll take an official look at how you can join Freemasonry and at the end of the video give you details on how to become one. So let's get into it. Hi, I'm Tony and I'm a Freemason based in London.
So if you're not aware, I am actually an ex-Freemason. I've got a little bit of proof. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it on camera there. Let's just swap scenes there so you can have a nicer look. Oh, I need to put that on silent, don't I? There's my my Freemason ring from when I was a brother of the Freemason kind. So yeah, that's he's going to tell us how we can join the fraternity if you like. This is definitely going to be a fluff piece. They're going to tell you all of the lovely things that you can do when you are a Freemason. So let's have a little listen more to what he's got to say.
And part of the Metropolitan Grand Lodge of London, which is essentially the county level authority for Freemasonry in London. You can check us out by going to londonmasons.org.uk. So what's a Freemason? A lot of people ask this with all kinds of preconceptions about who we are. In essence, Freemasonry, which is what we call the organisation that Freemasons are a part of, is the United Kingdom's largest secular, fraternal and charitable organisation.
Yeah, so the public face of Freemasonry is one of charity and brotherhood and level and upright morals is the term they like to use. Level and upright being sort of representative of the square and compass and the measurement of a man. Only men can become Freemasons. It is a fraternity, but as he's going to go on to explain in a minute, there is a way for women to join the order.
We have four key principles: integrity, friendship, respect, and charity. Integrity. Our ceremonies teach us values of integrity and tolerance. One line from one of our ceremonies tells us that what we observe praiseworthy in others, we should carefully imitate. And what in them may appear defective, we should in ourselves amend. This has always meant to me that on a daily basis, I should strive to be the best son, the best person, the best citizen of the world, the best husband, the best brother that I can possibly be. There is no doubt to me that being a Freemasonry has made me a better man.
So my question is this: if Freemasonry makes you a better man, why all the secrecy? See, Freemasonry is, if you're not aware, a sort of recreation of Solomon's temple. So we're talking about Solomon the Wise in a biblical sense from the Old Testament. And we're talking about rebuilding his temple in ritual. Now they say ceremony here because they don't quite like the name ritual, but I promise you, when you're involved in Freemasonry, it's a ritual. It's called a ritual. Everyone calls it a ritual. But he is avoiding the word here because ritual sounds nefarious, right? Interesting.
Friendship. It is no secret that in Freemasonry we make deep, lifelong friendships. I can honestly say that my dad became my best friend as a result of the 27 wonderful years I spent with him as a Freemason. I have made friendships that will last forever. Friends who can trust me and friends I know I can trust. Respect. Freemasonry is made up of a diverse group of people. It doesn't matter what your race, religion, or socio-economic background.
I'm just going to stop him there. You can probably hear my cat scraping away in the background there, but let's just enjoy that for a moment. Groot, stop. Oh, he's so annoying. I'm just going to pause the recording there. And we're back.
Background is. This mixture builds respect between people that come from different walks of life that otherwise wouldn't meet. Charity. In 2020 alone, English Freemasons donated £51.1 million to charity.
Yeah, that's often the thing that they really engage with, is this idea that charity comes from Freemasonry and it's one of their tenets. They like to... That's the public face of Freemasonry. The idea that everything that they do is to do with giving. But, you know, it actually costs money to be a Freemason. And the upper echelons of Freemasonry are pretty much out of bounds to the average man. The average man cannot afford, really, to be a high-level Freemason. It is definitely a organisation that's based around money. Everything is expensive. The membership is expensive. The accoutrements that come with it, the apron, the little sash, the staffs, everything costs money. So, and as you go up the ranks in Freemasonry, what happens is the cost increases every time. It actually costs more to become a member of another lodge, or so there is quite a large barrier to entry here. It's difficult, really, when you hear this man talking about his family. He's talking about how his dad was a Freemason. That's often the way that it goes on. That's often the way it goes on.
But apart from the money, English Freemasons donate millions of hours of their own time to their communities and to their charities as unpaid volunteers. A fact that often surprises people is that Freemasonry has separate orders open to both men and women. In London, there are male lodges like mine under Metropolitan Grand Lodge, and female lodges under two separate organisations called the Order of Women Freemasons.
I love the
and the Honourable Fraternity of
here.
Ancient Freemasons. And of course, you can find links for all three of these in the description below this video. The bit you've been waiting for. How do you become a Freemason?
Oh yeah, we've all been waiting
Perhaps
for that.
It's useful to talk about why people become Masons. Some people become Freemasons because their dads, granddads or uncles have been Masons, and they grew up wondering what it was.
See, I didn't become a Freemason through familial nepotism. I sought it out. So I actually messaged a lodge. This is before I found my faith. And, well, actually, I had found some faith, but I wasn't deep into reading my Bible and understanding the way, the word of Christ. I was curious about this organization in the way that the symbology of Freemasonry is deeply ingrained in our society, and certainly in London, which is one of the most Freemasonic cities on earth, if not the most Freemasonic city on earth. You can't move for stepping on lodges no matter where you go. So Freemasonry intrigued me, and I wanted to know what it was these guys were up to. So I did become a Master Mason. I became a 3rd degree Freemason, and it was pretty intense. There were lines to learn, and there were rituals to complete, and there were, sort of, everyone's very nice. I will say this. At the lower levels of Freemasonry, what he says here, there is a lot of truth to. He talks about brotherhood and friendship and charity, and that is definitely what it's about. It's a thing that drives men, I think, and it also brings us on to another topic that no doubt we'll go into at some point, which is the loneliness of men. I think there's a great deal of isolation among men nowadays that leads them to seek these type of things out, and I know that was certainly the case for me. Not necessarily loneliness, but maybe an idea of wanting to belong to something. And because I hadn't fully formed my religion, well, actually, I don't even like the word religion, because I hadn't fully formed my love of Christ yet, I was deeply intrigued by this. I thought this would be a way for me to find like-minded people. But obviously I didn't realise the depths of it. And when I sort of start to realise that there's a great deal more to this, a great deal more to the symbology that they use, a great deal more to the manipulations of society, it became a thing that I became afraid of. I'll tell you exactly how I left, but let's listen to a little more of, what was his name, Dave?
Others join because their friends unexpectedly turn out to be Masons and ask them if they want to join. Others already know they want to join Freemasonry and have been thinking about it for some time, and apply and join without any connection to Freemasonry through friends or family. Anyone in London can do this by contacting Metropolitan Grand Lodge directly through our website. For me personally, my dad was a Mason and would always come back after meetings having had a great time. Today you can join Freemasonry from the age of 18.
So the meetings are always on a Monday, every Monday, and you are required to be there every single Monday. So it is actually a large commitment, and you don't realise that actually is a huge portion of your time. And then on top of that, there's the rituals you must attend, especially if you are participating, because Masonry is a collective illumination. And what that means is that you work together in order to perform these rituals, maybe to bring in new initiates. So the initiate would undergo ritual, and they would be, I'll bring up the video in a minute, but like of an actual ritual. But the initiate has to go on the initiate's journey, and up until the 3rd degree, that's where you become a master Mason, which requires your symbolic death. So we will get there, but that is the type of things we're talking. He's downplaying here what Freemasonry is. He's trying to sell you this idea that Freemasonry is just, it's just a nice innocent brotherhood, and we all look after each other, and we work together for charity, and we do this and we do that. And that is true. That is true at that level. But you are still rebuilding Solomon's temple, and you are still reenacting scenes from that period. You are still bringing these characters to life, and because of that, you are participating in something that I believe takes you further away from Christ. There's no teaching about rebuilding Solomon's temple in the New Testament. Jesus doesn't say that. Anyway, let's let him finish.
But he asked me in my late 20s. A lot of lodges will interview you to see if you are a good fit. This isn't anything like a job interview though. and is usually held in a pub or a coffee shop. You'll then need to fill out an application form, and the lodge will tell you the date of the meeting you will be initiated into Freemasonry. If you don't know someone who is a Freemason and want to join, this whole process will be taken care of when you apply to join on the website. So that was a rundown of what a Freemason is, what Freemasonry is about, and how you can apply to become one. If you live in London and think you might want to become a Freemason, then you can click the link in the description below this video to join either Metropolitan.
Yeah, I won't be doing that. So that is a Freemason's description of what Freemasonry is. Now, let's go down a rabbit hole here. Perhaps let's click on something else that maybe will tell us a little bit more. So let's just bring up here a list of famous Freemasons. How apt. So throughout history, prominent leaders, scientists and artists have been Freemasons. Notable members include presidents like George Washington, industry titan Henry Ford, and literary icon Mark Twain. So we've got George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Andrew Jackson, Theodore Roosevelt, Sir Isaac Newton, Sir Alexander Fleming, Henry Ford, Mark Twain, Voltaire, Oscar Wilde, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Interesting there, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. The idea of making policing famous, making them sort of seem superhuman is an interesting rabbit hole to go down. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Ludwig van Beethoven, and William Hogarth. Now, Mozart, it was an out and proud Freemason. If you have heard of the Magic Flute before, the opera written by Mozart, it is actually about the initiate's journey. So maybe we'll have a little look at that. So let's have a look at the Magic Flute. Freemasonry. There we go. So yeah, here we go. Oh dear, we're going right down the... See the pillars there on either side. The typical setup of Solomon's Temple, you'll have the pillars on either side. You'll have Boaz and Yakin, and then you'll have a singular square door. Normally, above that, you'll have a triangular substrate. There's all symbology to that, but so we know we're in business when we see the two pillars. Okay. I know I keep pausing it, but there's a lot of symbology to analyze here. We see a sun, we see a wheel, we see the moon, we see stars. Stars very, very important to Freemasonry. We have to think about what we would call the Star of Remphan. It's a star that you would recognize. It's a star that you might see on a certain nation's flag. And that star has many different meanings and interpretations, but one of the most prominent ones is as above, so below. As above, so below is the idea that what happens to the up affects the down, and that everything is a mirror image. So let me just have a look. See, we've got, I put that in as above, so below, and immediately we've got movies. Okay. So as above, so below, this looks like something to do with maybe the Parisian catacombs. I don't know, but that looks pretty terrifying, doesn't it? Yeah, so let's have a look at the... Yeah, as above, so below. So we got here all the different iterations that you can see. So the star is actually relevant to alchemy. So we have here fire and air, water, earth, and then conjoined, which is ethereal or ether. So fire points up and water points down. So this is where we start to hear names like Hermes Trismegistus. Now, I've probably already gone very, very far down past where people are sort of informed here. So these are the elements of alchemy. Alchemy being the transmutation of the famous one, lead into gold. Now, what is interesting about transmutation is that we're not really talking about the transmutation of lead into gold. We're talking about turning one thing, and it could be spirit, it could be self, but transmuting something into something else. That's the very essence of alchemy. And that is on the star. As above, so below. So that is interesting there. So we get images. I'm not going to be able to zoom in there. That's unfortunate. These images also translate into other symbols here. We look here, and we're talking about now Eliphas Levi. And we're talking about the elements interacting. You can see the median line there representing the division between the above and the below. Lots of symbology on here, pointing up, pointing down. Really, really interesting to look into. Lots and lots of different images here. But this is the very essence of Freemasonry. So we see this. We see the illuminated eye, the one that's on the dollar bill. A reflection, a triangle pointing up, a triangle pointing down. We get as above, so below. These are, this symbol is everywhere, right? It's now sort of ingrained in our culture that we get the eye, and Annuit Coeptis Novus Seclorum Ordo is written on the New World Order. So that should be concerning, right, where we see these type of things. Now let's just head back to our Freemasonry video, because I want to see how much we hear about the initiate's journey through Mozart. Oh, it held there quite long, didn't it? Okay. So straight away we're in with the symbology.
Thus, with three mighty knocks ringing in the listener's ears, Mozart's final and most mysterious opera, The Magic Flute, opens.
So when the initiate approaches the rebuilt temple, Solomon's temple, there is a keeper at the door, and when you arrive at the door, you'll be instructed if this is your first. Okay, group. I know. You get excited when I talk about Freemasonry. So you'll be instructed to roll up your left trouser leg and expose your breast, and you will also be blindfolded. And then they will knock 3 times on the door, and then I've forgotten the exact terminology for it now, but the doorman will say that he has an initiate who's ready for the journey, and then they'll let you in, and then that's where the first ritual begins.
First performed in 1791 and opening only 9 weeks before its composer's untimely death, the Magic Flute has been recognized for centuries as a distinctly Masonic composition. That Mozart was an enthusiastic and active Freemason is well known. The author of the libretto for the Magic Flute, Emanuel Schikaneder, a close friend of Mozart, was also a Mason, and they were members of the same lodge. Impressions of Mozart's Masonic ideals may be found in a number of his compositions, such as the Little Masonic Cantata, the Mason's Joy Cantata, and the Masonic Funeral Music. References to the Masonic symbolism and message of the Magic Flute began to circulate from its first performances. Indeed, the first publication of its libretto in 1791 included illustrations swamped with Masonic imagery, including working tools, stars, and Egyptian symbols.
There's a very tight line between Egyptian symbology and ideas and Freemasonic ideas. They're very, very well linked. And if you look at the line through someone like Aleister Crowley, you can actually see that line much more sharply. But anyway, I'll let this guy continue speaking.
Video will briefly explore some of the specifically Masonic images, messages, and symbols in the opera, specific not only to Freemasonry, but also to the Masonic world in Austria in the early 1790s. To start with the plot of the opera. At first glance it seems topsy-turvy, dreamlike, a fairy tale for adults. The setting is a distant land, vaguely Egyptian or Oriental in nature, a land in which mystery and legend are part of everyday reality.
Yeah, so it's a non-existent land, some fantastical place.
Tamino, a young explorer, finds himself in a mysterious tomb-like maze.
Did he just say Camino?
No, mystery and legend are part of everyday reality. Tamino, a young explorer, finds himself in a mysterious tomb-like maze. A terrible monster begins stalking him, and, in his panic to escape, Tamino knocks himself out.
This monster could be seen to be representing what is known as the demiurge. We'll go into a little more detail on the demiurge in a bit.
At that moment, 3 women arrive to send the monster back to whatever vault it escaped from. The 3 women serve the Queen of the Night, and they go, promising to return. Tamino comes to, not sure where he is or even whether he's dreaming or not.
Let's have a look at that now, shall we? So this is the demiurge. So the demiurge is a philosophical and theological concept referring to an artisan-like figure responsible for fashioning, shaping, and maintaining the physical universe. So, derived from the Greek word demiurgos, meaning craftsman or public worker, the concept describes a deity who manipulates pre-existing chaotic matter rather than creating a universe out of nothing. So, the demiurge is the representation of God, the Gnostic villain there, Yaldabaoth. In early Christian Gnosticism, 1st and 3rd centuries AD, the concept was radically inverted into figures of ignorance or malice. False gods agnostics separated the supreme, true, purely spiritual God from the creator of the physical world. The demiurge is an inferior secondary deity, often named Yaldabaoth, Samael, or Sackless. Now, remember that name, Samael, because it is important if we start looking at Kabbalah. The cosmic prison, ignorant of the higher spiritual realms, the demiurge arrogantly declared himself the only true God. He created the physical world and human bodies to trap divine sparks of spirit. To Gnostics, salvation means gaining gnosis, secret knowledge, to escape his material matrix. I don't know if any of this is starting to sound familiar. You hear this said all the time, that we are trapped in a matrix. We are imprisoned. Anyway.
Another bizarre figure appears. It's Papageno, the former ornithologist, now birdcatcher who works for the Queen of the Night.
Oh, well, we can't even go 2 seconds without getting to some symbology here. Mozart absolutely loved his symbology, as all Freemasons do. So let's just have a look at the owl's significance to Freemasonry. I'm sure you have probably heard of Bohemian Grove, the effigy of the giant owl where the most elite in our society practice ritual. So that it's the general symbol of wisdom, no formal significance within mainstream Freemasonry, as it does not appear in the rituals lectures, but that's not true really. And here we go, look, the Bavarian Illuminati crossover. So when we talk about Mozart, that's where we are. The Owl of Athena. In classical antiquity, the owl was the companion of Athena, or Minerva, the goddess of wisdom. Seeing in the dark, this is where it becomes very, very important to Freemasonry, because the whole idea is of illumination, or wisdom and knowledge translating into a upright and level person. You are looking for this knowledge, hence why the eye at the top of a alchemical symbol for fire pointing upwards is so significant to Freemasons. So owls see through darkness. They are used metaphorically to represent a wise person who can navigate in ignorance, such as hidden truths, and exercise caution, because Freemasonry places a heavy emphasis on seeking light. The bird naturally appeals to some members as an artistic emblem. Not an autistic emblem, an artistic one. So we get this Bavarian Illuminati Illuminati. What is wrong with me? The Bavarian Illuminati crossover. The strong association between the owl, secret societies, and Freemasonry stems largely from a completely different group, the Bavarian Illuminati, founded by Adam Weishaupt in 1776. Significant year, right? 1776. That's definitely something to think about. The Illuminati explicitly used the Owl of Minerva on their medallions and high degree insignia to represent wisdom and enlightenment. Because the Illuminati heavily infiltrated and recruited from European Masonic lodges before being banned, the owl became retroactively and inaccurately conflated with standard Masonic imagery. However, that does actually ring true, because we're talking about Mozart, we're talking about Germany, we're talking about Bavaria, right? This is why we're seeing owl symbology.
Papageno claims to have defeated the monster, but the three women return and make it clear that they were the ones who rescued Tamino. To stop Papageno fibbing, they put a stopper in his mouth.
That's right, stop him lying.
They give Tamino a locket with a portrait of the Queen of the Night's daughter, Pamina. Tamino immediately falls in love with Pamina and vows to rescue her from the terrible man who has kidnapped her.
Where is he getting these, avatars from? Wow. Dear, oh dear.
The Queen of the Night hears his vow and arrives to promise that the moment Pamina is rescued, she will be Tamino's bride. The three women give Tamino a magic flute to protect him on his mission. They give both men spirits to guide them on their quest. Tamino and Papageno set off to rescue Pamina. Pamina is trying to escape from the maze, but she is caught by Monostatos, the man assigned to guard her. Papageno stumbles in and tells Pamina that a handsome young man is in love with her and they must go to meet him. Tamino, meanwhile, encounters a stranger who questions him about his reasons for being in this tomb. Tamino tells him that he's here to rescue a young woman from an evil man. The stranger tells Tamino he doesn't know the true story about Pamina's kidnap. The stranger is, in fact, Sarastro, Pamino's father and leader of a band of philosophers working in the tomb. Sarastro tells Tamino that he must join the philosophers or never find his way out of the maze.
Again, we are hearing he will never find his way out of the maze. He needs enlightenment. He needs illumination. He needs information to find his way from this maze.
Sarastro and the philosophers convene and agree that Tamino is ready to undergo 3 trials that will lead to membership of their circle. The first trial is the trial by silence. The spirit guides appear to tell the 2 men to be brave in the coming trials. They feed them to build up their strength for what is to come. Pamina finds Tamino, but he can't speak to her because of the trial by silence. She thinks he doesn't love her anymore and is heartbroken.
The trial by silence. So here we're getting into the performing of ritual.
She thinks that only death will end her suffering. Monostatos finds the unhappy Pamina and decides to make her his, but the Queen of the Night arrives. She is impatient for Tamino to lead Pamina out of the tomb. She admits she also wants to know the secret knowledge that Sarastro is uncovering. When Pamina tells her Tamino will become one of the philosophers, the Queen of the Night is enraged. She tells Pamina she must kill Sarastro or she will no longer be her daughter. Sarastro comforts Pamina and tells her that the secret knowledge he has uncovered involves forgiveness and resistance to the urge for revenge. Tamino is led to the next 2 trials, the trial by fire and the trial by water, by 2 priests in...
So there we go. The trial by fire above and the trial by water below.
Protective outfits. Pamina bravely leads Tamino through the secret doors that lead to the 2 trials. Her love and the music of the magic flute protect them and they survive. They are welcomed into the band of the philosophers. Monostatos.
Let's see if we can find secret filming masonry. What might be a good one? Here we go. Let's have a look at this.
Alright, at this point, we all kind of know that the Freemasons run the world, but no one really knows exactly what they're doing. Like, what goes on in these secret little spaces where they're all meeting. Well, that changes today, because this guy, who goes by the name Kyle is Based, or Kyle Undercover, snuck in to a Freemason ritual and...
Okay,
Actually comes from.
Alright, so there's a little bit of context for you guys to just kind of wrap your head around what Freemasonry is and what is actually going on here. This is broken down into 4 parts. Like I said, the first 3 are the ritual, and then it's the ceremony. So let's get into it.
Out at the East Gate. Grandmaster Hieroglyph, I'm glad to meet you, Vassalama. Give me the secrets of a master mason, or I will take your life. This is no time or place for the man, no secrets.
Okay, so you may be wondering who Hiram Abiff is here. So he is actually featured in the Bible, albeit very, very briefly. And this whole scene involves some ruffians asking him for the word of secret knowledge. The word, I think they refer to it as the word of God. Which links it to an idea called the Tetragrammaton, this knowledge that Hiram Abiff had. And that is the very essence of this 3rd ritual in the ascent of the initiate to Master Mason.
Not to me about time, place, patience, or the completion of the temple. Give me the secrets of a master mason, or I will take your life. It behooves you in this rude and violent manner thus to demand no secrets. When the temple's complete, if found worthy, you'll then receive them lawfully as I have. You have passed Jubilo. Me you cannot pass. My name is Jubilum, well known for my determination of character.
What I undertake, that I do. Give me the secrets of a master mason instantly, for I will take your life. I will not. What? Still persist? Then die.
Yeah. So the initiate has to die. I'm not gonna lie. When you go through this, it's pretty intense.
What horrid deed is this? You have slain the Grandmaster Hiram Abiff.
This is no time for reflection. What shall we do with the body?
We'll bury it in the village temple in the low club. Briefly, again, discuss what to do with it.
Agreed.
Yep. See in the background there, we have a hexagram. An inverted hexagram. This is pointing downwards, not up, which is universally recognized as the symbol for Baphomet.
So you can hear them shoveling. You can hear them shoveling like they're burying something. I'm going to let Kyle give a bit more detail on exactly what we just watched there, but I just want to say, like, they're like LARPing. This is like a role play, and they...
Yes, it is a role play, because the significance of it is that you are recreating the events of Hiram Abiff and his murder, or his alleged murder. And the fact that he took this word with him to the grave, which is also the idea that Freemasons are trying to recover this word, which you could say is loosely the tetragrammaton or name of God, Yahweh.
20.
No, we don't care for your adverts. Thank you very much.
Hail, Captain, hail. Hello. Is that your ship yonder? It is. Whither are you bound? To Ethiopia. Do you take passengers? I do.
Just take note in the background here.
Will you take us? I will, if you have King Solomon's pass. We have no pass, but we have money, and we will pay you your demands.
Then you cannot go, for I have strict orders not to take workmen from the temple out of the country unless express permission from King Solomon.
What shall we do?
Let us turn back into the country.
Agreed.
This guy's doing like artificial stomping on the way out, like intentionally making his steps louder.
Yes, it's for a number of reasons. It's to tell the initiate what's going on, but it's also written to do that.
Most excellent King Solomon, the Grandmaster Hiram Abiff is missing.
Missing? How do you know to be missing?
You seen the Grandmaster Hiram Abiff?
Have you seen the Grandmaster Hiram Abiff? Have you? Have you seen it? No. Have you seen the Grandmaster Hiram Abiff? Hail, brothers! Hail, brother! What discoveries have you made? The earth has been recently removed. It has the appearance of a grave. What causes confusion among the crowd?
Most excellent King Solomon, the fellow craft have returned.
The body of the Grandmaster Hiram Abiff.
And go with me to raise the body of the Grandmaster Hiram Abiff.
As we journey here below, through
This is a banger. Lord of all. Which Lord of all are they talking about? Because remember, one of the requirements for you to be a Freemason is that you must believe in an all-powerful deity. So, everyone here may well be praying to a different god. Interesting.
What the hell?
Yeah. We'll go a little further here because the initiate is about to be risen from the dead. Yes. Okay, here we go. Apparently he's supposed to be risen. There we go, yeah. Get behind me, Satan.
Is this of your own free will in accord? Yes.
Creepy. I mean, nothing that looks like this can be good. Seriously.
He's right.
Appertaining to the degree of Master Mason. To any person. Under the canopy of heaven. Except it be. To the true and lawful brother of this degree.
Jesus also tells us not to swear any oaths. Let's just have a quick bringing up of that. So Matthew 5:34, there Jesus challenges the practice of swearing oaths. He explains that since everything belongs to God, using sacred objects or concepts like heaven or one's own head to guarantee a promise is unnecessary. He concludes, let what you say be simply yes or no. Anything more than this comes from evil. Now that is an interesting concept when you think about the concept of thoughts and where they come from. Jesus tells us to say yes or no, a binary decision. Now, a binary decision is an easy one to make, right? But these are convoluted and complex situations. So, if we think about where our thoughts come from, could one thought be from the divine and one thought be from the other? We think about like the concept of having a demon and an angel on one shoulder, and we think, you know, perhaps this could be where it comes from. An angel and a demon on my shoulder. So this is the oath that you are required to swear when you become a Freemason. So let's hear what he's got to say.
Brother of this degree, or within the body, of a just, and legally constituted lodge, of Master Masons, and neither unto him nor them, till after strict trial, to examination, or lawful information, furthermore, that I will aid and assist, all distressed, worthy brother Master Masons, their widows and orphans, their widows and orphans, whosoever dispersed around the globe, that I will keep the secrets of a brother master mason, as my own, when given to me, in charge as such, murder and treason accepted. Furthermore, that I will not violate the chastity of a brother master mason's wife, daughter, sister, mother or widow, or suffer the same to be done by another. Furthermore, that I will not give the grand hailing sign of this degree, unless I am in real distress.
That's an interesting one. Should we see if we can find any examples of that being done? So, grand hailing sign. Celebrities. Let's see if they might have done it in court, right? Nope. Sign of a master mason there on the level. I can't remember whether I saw it. No, I'm not going to search for it, but yeah. Oh, look. There's Tom Hiddleston doing his mudra and his Illuminati. Shh. We don't talk about it. Okay.
Finding myself under no less a penalty than that of having my body severed in twain. My bowels taken thence, and
dear.
burned to ashes, and the ashes cast to the four winds of heaven, that no more remembrance
The four winds of heaven.
may be had of me.
What the hell?
Earth, wind, fire,
And keep me steadfast
and water.
in due observance of this, my solemn obligation as a master mason. Now, attach your hand on your head, in token of your sincerity, kiss the Holy Bible on which you are obligated.
This guy did not want to do that.
Brother Senior Warden, release the candidate from the faithful as being 3 times around his naked body is to signify that he is now bound to eternity by a 3-fold tie. Of darkness. The Senior Warden assist me in bringing the candidate from darkness to see the light by which Master Masons work. The first objects presented to your view of being brought from darkness are the 3 great lights of Freemasonry. As before, with this difference, you now observe both points of the compasses elevated above the square, which is to teach you that you are now about to receive all the light which can be conferred upon you in a lodge of Master Masons, and that you're not to lose sight of this valuable instrument by which we are taught to circumscribe our desires, keep our passions within due bounds toward all mankind, particularly.
Just the feeling you get when you
He's going to say that it's unsettling, right? And it is unsettling. It's even more unsettling when you're kneeling there. So, yeah, he's right, and it's certainly a difficult ordeal to go through. I don't recommend it. Don't recommend it. Okay. I've been sort of chatting away here about Freemasons for about 55 minutes. If you've enjoyed what I've done here, and you'd like to see more of this format, then hit the like and subscribe button, please. And every like and every subscribe, every comment that you can make helps me out greatly. This is a brand new channel. So, yeah, I've been TCM, and I will see you in the next one.